it is a difficult conversation. Look, what we have seen happen in Israel, I would say, is a crime against humanity. It is absolutely vile, and we are hurting the people of Israel. But at the same time, international law cannot be switched on and off, and there are laws around proportionality, and there are principles of distinction that hold in place.
Because obviously we've heard, in terms of the British political arena, politician after politician say correctly that Israel, of course, has a right to defend itself, which of course it does. But I suppose there is a follow-up to that, which is to say it has a right to defend itself, but does it have an unqualified right? And that's where the conversation gets more complicated, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And under international humanitarian law and under international law, Israel has a right to self-defense, which is what it's carrying out. But as you say, that is within the framework of international humanitarian law, which has requirements. And it is totally possible to support Israel's right to exist, Israel's right to self-defense, but also recognise that they do have to act as a rule of law nation within the framework of international humanitarian law. Since at least January, I have been warning that I thought we were headed towards a third intifada. In June, when the Prime Minister sat in front of the Liaison Select Committee, I raised Israel and Palestine, and I said that I was really worried about what was coming. The horror, however, is so far beyond whatever I could even have imagined, and I've seen some pretty awful things in my previous career. The horror is so appalling that I think the world is genuinely in shock, and you do want to absolutely support Israel. These people are trying to wipe Israel off the map. They do not think that they should exist. Israel has to defeat Hamas, not just in the interest of the people of Israel, but actually the wider region. But that is therefore difficult, because what you don't want to be seen to be is somehow not supportive of Israel, particularly given all that they have been through. But I believe as a politician, you also have a duty to give those difficult messages, to say that humanitarian law is not something you opt in and out of, and that we have a duty as Britain to be tough with our friends and put those messages across.
But that's the point, isn't it? Because can it be right? It is clear, as you say, Hamas wants to wipe Israel off the map. But it cannot be right that in response to that, Israel wipes Gaza off the map.
Yeah, and this is the problem. This is a counter-terrorism operation. I think it's really important that that's how we should be talking about it. This isn't a war on Palestine. This has to be a counter-terrorism operation, which is difficult. Hamas is hiding out amongst civilians, but we've dealt with that in the past. Daesh did the same thing.
The Newsagents. This is a Global Player original podcast.